I got no ceiling. Stick it out, stick it out, poke it out, poke it out, stick it out, stick it out, poke it out. Ooh yeah, pinky ring, we're about to be deep. You told my Lambo that's drippy.
The soundtrack of your day.
I could be a fantasy. I could tell you got beat energy.
This is Power 95, where music lives. Ladies' Room comes to you compliments of Renwick and Thompson Limited, agents for Western Union, and Beacon Insurance.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Beacon's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Show your loving all the with the light. Show your loving all the time. Whoa, whoa, well. I'm not in a position to maintain you the way that you're accustomed to. Can't take you out to fancy places like other fellas that I know can do. I'm only able to romance you and make you tingle with delight. Financially, I'm a pauper, but when it comes to loving, I'm alright. Alright, alright. Don't show me what your friends are wearing. I really don't want to see. Don't tell me what your friends are buying, 'cause money doesn't grow on trees. Tell me about the things that excite you and make you tingle with delight. Little darling, tell me where to hold and touch you. So when it comes to loving, I'm alright. Alright.
Good morning, roomies. Welcome back. Final one for the week. I swear this week I've been having way too much fun. Anywho's, good morning, everybody. Good morning, welcome, welcome. This song just fits what we're going to talk about this morning perfectly. Like, this song was written for this scenario this morning. Like, seriously, what is the Freddie and them? Y'all ever sat and listened to this song carefully? Hold on. Freddie, hold on. Let me greet my people. Good morning, Christelle. Good morning, Kizzy Thomas. Good morning, Marian. Maggie. Good morning, Leno, Rita, Marlene. Who else is here? Jill, Stacy, Pauline. Good morning. Good to have you, Pauline. Good morning, Martin, Valma. Sean, good morning, Sean. Woman again. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Kendra. Good morning, Valma, Stacy, Michelle. Who else is here? Sonia. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Vivian. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, share the live. Share the live because. Good morning, Shauna Dakota. Good morning. Yeah. What really does do Freddie and them? Y'all ever paid attention to this song? Like, Queen Bee, good morning. In 2022, when you could barely get a little grocery bag for $100, you probably have 3 or 4 items in there. Freddie is saying He's not in a position to maintain you. Basically, Freddie can't do nothing for you, but he could give you loving. You ever lay down next to somebody and your belly start to rumble? Like, have you ever been involved in the activity and you're hungry? What does feel like? Seriously, this is a song we've been singing for years and loving and enjoying. But y'all ever sat and listened to the lyrics of this song? So Freddie basically saying, you know what? You're on your own if you're hungry, but I could give you loving day, noon, night, any time of the week. I could fill you up with love. Even with the electricity man come knocking on your door and you can't pay the bill, we'll make love in darkness. Y'all ever listen this song? Huh? And Freddie had enough to say, basically, don't make your girl and don't make your friend and them tie you up. Don't pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to me. I am the man who giving you loving. Don't stress yourself about what you can get. So Freddie, we mean we're just making love whole day. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going on a date. We can't eat outside. Listen, Freddie, for a second.
If you're hungry, girl, I can feed you. But with my money, girl, you won't get far. I got so many patches on my clothes, girl.
But I have to respect Freddie's honesty. I have to respect his honesty. Now, if a man is that honest to you and you decide, you know what? I prefer love over luxury, then you cannot come into this room and complain. Because Freddie was up front from jump. Freddie said to y'all, hey, I can't afford to do nothing for you. But when it comes to loving, you're getting that. I have that in abundance. So if you're looking for love and you're not looking for me to pay a bill or looking for me to buy you a meal, then we good to go. So you really can't blame Freddie because Freddie was honest. How many men are like that? Are you going to be honest and upfront? And listen, Freddie need to put his effort into looking for a walk and forget about looking for a woman. And it's on that note I'm going to start today. Now, I'm seeing so many different takes on the scenario this morning. A lot of different takes. And that is what you need to be focusing on. Like, we have our priorities mixed up. In the first instance, you should not be looking for woman or concerned about woman if you're not in a position to take care. And I'm not saying this that, like, okay, that's what a woman is looking for. But ever so often, if you need a little help out, you should be in a position too. I'm all for women being able to provide for themselves because the same thing these days men are looking for, women are looking for, men are looking for it too. So it's not like a one-sided thing. You're saying, okay, well, a man had to do that and a woman could just sit back and not be ambitious and independent and be able to hold her own. No, we're not saying that. As a matter of fact, I would encourage every woman to do that, be able to be in a position to take care of yourself, pay your bills, etc. So anybody that comes along, it's sort of like a bonus and you're not dependent on them. And that way, nobody can dictate when you eat and when you don't eat. Nobody can't abuse you because you can't do better and you have to stay there and jam like Bobot. You're in a position to take care. So if my man decides to act up and play the fool, you can throw in a Taurus Riley, don't come back. So I would advise every woman under the sun to be in a position where you can take care of yourself and you're not solely dependent on a man to handle your affair. Because trust me, when you do that, you're setting yourself up. There's a lot of them who take advantage of that situation or position. So every woman should be able to hold her own and not be dependent on people like Freddie and them, or even a matter of fact, even if they don't have, they want to cut style, regardless. So, Homeboy says he recently started getting, a response from a woman he's interested in, and during one of their conversations, the topic of job and earnings came up. Yeah, I think Freddie in the background. And when he told her what he earned, what he made, she basically laughed and said, I'm not ready for a relationship yet based on my salary and responsibilities. And he took that to be offensive. And he asked basically, what does how much money I make have to do with being in a relationship and my ability to love her? Well, homegirl says you can't make love on a hungry on a hungry belly or go out on dates if you can't afford it. So the question is, does your earnings minimizes your chances of a relationship, and should that be a requirement? A requirement seems to be a strong word because it seems as though that is what the only thing you're looking for. But I would say if you're not in a position or you're not in a comfortable place where you can do certain things, then a relationship should be the last thing you're concerned about. Because I would like to go somewhere. I mean, I'd like to take a trip. I'd like to go on a little vacation. I'd like to go to the movies. I'd like to go eat out ever so often. And of course, I mean, I'll return the favor. I could take you out. We go eat. Hey, it's on me today, whatever, whatever. But I've seen women actually bashing her for saying that. Now, when are we going to break? When are we going to invest in and be more concerned about generational wealth? We get in situations, struggle love. We spend most of our lives, our childhoods in struggle environments where our parents struggled. And you saw what that was like. Yes, your mother loved your father, but you all struggled throughout it and you saw her sometimes in tears. You went to bed at night hungry. Now, why do we seem to support struggle love and seem to think women are gold diggers or this, that, or the other if you have a particular preference? No, there's somebody for everybody under the sun. Well, let's say all bread sting bread, or all sting cheese heavy bread, or whatever the saying goes, there's somebody for everybody. Now, if a woman's preference is to have a man who is at a particular stage in life, that's on her. And maybe she's at that stage too, and she'd like somebody to be there as well. Everybody have different preferences. So I wouldn't bash somebody for saying, hey, I don't want no struggle love. I'd like to be with somebody who, you know, both our hands can stretch and make it work. Not me hungry, not me struggling, not me getting pregnant and bringing a child into this struggling relationship. Why are we supporting struggle relationships? How do you break, this cycle? If you all gung ho on love is all good and well. But at the end of the day, there are other things that you need apart from love. Now, I can't go to the bank and say, hey, I need a loan, here's some love. Or I go pay my electricity bill and say, hey, here's some love. It's not going to work. You can't go to the supermarket. You can't go to the grocery and say, here's some love, give me some food. So why is it that women are saying, she's a gold digger and she's this? Listen, we are in 2022, y'all. When was the last time y'all went to the supermarket? Have y'all seen the prices of goods in the supermarkets lately? We were complaining about our electricity bill not so long ago, like gas, everything is at. So why would you say to somebody, okay, you this and you that for having a preference? Like how? Sean says most women always want finished products. Nobody want to build together again. A lot of them saying man can afford them, normally ask for things they can't afford themselves. And go see where some of them staying. I know that's what you want to see. But Sean, that again is a preference. The same way women are supposed to have standards, men are supposed to have standards as well. So it's okay for a man to say, listen, I don't want to be with a woman who who's not working or probably don't have her own ride or her own place. You have the right as well. So a man could say, you know what, I don't want a woman that I have to build. I also want a finished product. That is your preference as well. So we can't use that argument to say women always want that, as if men don't have a choice or say in what or who they want. Men could also say, I don't want a woman who's not working for whatever amount of money or who isn't that way or that way. You have that choice. So if you choose not to exercise that right and I choose to do it, what makes me the bad or the wrong person if I have a preference? Not everybody wants to struggle in love. Not everybody wants to struggle. It's all well and good to build, but hey, if you like somebody who already built and you can add to what they have, I don't see what is the problem. Clark says he doesn't think what he makes is a problem. The most important thing is that he got a job, determined, got a bright future, or has a stable saving, because there will be a time I need to be pampered. Sean, well, people could have jobs, but you're not doing really good. You're practically living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not just having a job. There's a lot of people in dead end jobs that's going nowhere, and they're settled in it and comfortable, and they're not making any moves to, either further their studies to get a higher paying job, or they're just comfortable where they're at, and they expect you to be comfortable with their level of comfort. How is that? Make that make sense? Just having a job alone doesn't cut it. You could have a job and you barely could get to, make ends meet. But like you said, are you ambitious? Do you plan to do something more to add to what you've got? So why be mad at somebody who feels that, that's what they want? So homeboy is asking if that's a thing. Does your earnings minimize your chances of a relationship? I wouldn't say totally, because it's a lot of relationship where there aren't much earnings, but people are still together, you know? And earnings is something that a lot of folks don't talk about. So I'm glad that she sort of got to it in the early stages of, before they got into something. A lot of people don't really discuss finances and stuff like that. You do what you got to do, and, things happen. It's a sort of uncomfortable topic. Not much people, have that conversation. It's only when you get into it later down the road you realize, wow, this isn't really going anywhere, you know? So if the topic came up and he didn't say anything about her, so that means she's probably in a better position than he is, because he said the topic of job and earnings came up. And when he told her his, so that means she told him hers as well, means I kind of get from it, because he would have said at some point, well, she ain't doing better than me, but she looking to tell me this, that, or the other. There was no mention of that. All he said is she basically laughed and said, I'm not ready for a relationship yet based on my salary and the responsibilities. So it's not just only the salary, but the responsibilities that he has as well, which means there's probably little left over to do anything. So and people be talking about how many people in Grenada, apart from those that we know, give or take, have that much money to go around. There's a well-off couple, where they live, blah blah blah. But outside of that, the middle class and the lower class seem to be way more than those that's up there. The lower being more prevalent. So if Miss Lady decides, you know what, okay, we had a conversation, and I don't think, based on what you do, you're quite ready. You probably need to do more, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't see why that makes the person a bad person. Like I said, men have the option as well to decide, hey, what I want, what I don't want, what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not willing to accept. Standards isn't just there for women. Men need to start using that option as well. Because, for example, there are women who say, I don't want a man who don't have a car. And they themselves don't have a car, but they put up on your upholstery, on your dashboard. How about that? A man could say, well, I'd prefer to have a woman who also has her own rights, so I don't have to be chauffeur, I don't have to be Uber driver, I don't have to drive her up and down like taxi, she and she friends. I'd like if she has a vehicle as well, so I could put up my foot on her upholstery too, on she dashboard too. Options. So we need to stop men, and that's the same thing my boy said yesterday. Act as if you have options and standards. Don't behave as if women are the only one who's supposed to have standards and do this or do that. And use that as a measuring stick. Oh, well, women don't do this. You have the choice as well. So, homegirl says they can't make love on a hungry belly or go out on dates if she can't afford it. And I honestly don't see anything that's wrong with it. At least she's being upfront. That's who she is. That's what she wants. Everybody have choices and preferences. I don't see how that makes her gold digger or makes her she just have a preference. that you at least be able to do certain things. And you as a man could have the same preference that your girl be able to have certain things or do certain things. So, you're saying it was a date getting, but listen, sometimes we come, there's a lot of double standards in the room sometimes, eh? Let's be realistic. If somebody says to you from jump, why waste your time getting to know the person lower down the road when you know whether it's a date or not a date? Based on what she's saying, his salary does not afford him and the responsibilities afford him the opportunity to go out on dates like that. Why waste time forcing a point? That is my point. Why waste time forcing it? Why go on a date and waste your time knowing fully well, okay, this person is not in a position and probably won't be in a position for a long time to do certain things? Why waste each other's time? Before you know it, we have sex and I'm pregnant and then, I'm stuck. Going on a date, Debbie says, did she give him a chance to at least go out and try to do better? How do you do better? If he has this job for the longest while and making whatever for the longest while, me going on 2 dates with him is going to change his fortunes? Wow. I'm not sure that I have that much power. If the roles are reversed, then he has a right to tell her that. That's what I'm saying, Deborah. That men have the same choices that women have. And that's what I'm saying, men are supposed to have standards as well. And if a man is going with a woman and that's, let's reverse it for a while. He also have the right to say, well, my girl, nice to meet you, bongs, but I'm looking for somebody who's more in line with, where I'm at and blah, blah, blah. A man has the right to, so that is not an excuse. If he told her that will be completely fine, because men do supposed to have standards as well and choices. Someone says nowadays relationships focus on too much materialistic things. Well, the whole world is full of material things. You can't live, before you open your door, you have to pull something out of your pocket. There's nothing free anymore. Nobody gives you anything anymore. Before, people used to drop a bag of provision on your doorstep. You can't even get that free. You have to pay for it. So we're getting all caught up in the love and the nice feeling of love and support. But at the end of the day, is that helping pay the bills? You love and then you're miserable because every month is a hand-to-mouth situation, and then you start getting angry at each other, and then we break up and we move on down the road. There's a lot of things we could avoid if we straight up and stop, trying to fit in with what society says love should be and what you should be. If you know who you are and you have a preference, that's what it is, man as well as woman. All this niceties about, love. Oh yeah, love is nice and fine, but let's be realistic in 2022. Love isn't gonna cut it alone. Living is an expense. Just breathing is an expense. Love alone isn't going to cut it. Maybe gone are the days when, at least everybody looked out for each other. The neighborhood, somebody plant some lettuce, the entire neighborhood will get a head of lettuce. Now people planting 5 head of lettuce and they're selling all 5. So sometimes we just got to be realistic and keep in mind the times that we're living. It sounds all nice and fancy to write it and say, oh, well, we need to look out for each other and love each other and but let's be realistic. I see people complaining every day about how hard and how high cost of living is. You go home to your partner and say, I love you, and does that take care of everything? Because a lot of the times you meet people in a certain position and they give you the impression that, you know what, I'm going to do better. I'm going to upgrade myself. I'm going to go back to, but then people get complacent and comfortable. And then you're not blaming yourself. You know what? I should have gone with my gut instinct in the first place. This person basically just told me that because he wanted a chance to get with me. Okay, well, how about you go get yourself together? And when you do that, if I'm still available, we click. Why we need to force points? We keep on forcing points and forcing relationships. I said to y'all, stop forcing friendship, relationship, ponytails, things that can go in one. Stop forcing it. Stop forcing things. If that's what it is, that's what it is. Stop forcing it. Your hair could barely go in one. Stop forcing it into one and killing it with gel and killing your roots, forcing the roots, your hair follicles. If it can't go in one, it just can't go in one. And you don't need to go on 10, 15 dates with a person to already see how ambitious or a lack of ambition on a person's part. Because if you're a man in a dead-end job for 15 years and you're making $50 a week, and I meet you this week, I'm supposed to go on a date with you for you to decide to get up and go make 100 next week. Sometimes it just takes having conversation to see people's ambition or lack of. A lot of people are comfortable where they are, comfortable struggling because it's too much work to get up and do better. So if you meet people in their struggles, why should I join you in your struggles for love's sake? And then we struggle, I struggle, you struggle, we all struggle together. So that's what we're doing now. I struggling, you struggling, and all of us just struggle together. Then we bring some more children, we put two, three children, and the whole 5 of us struggling together. And just struggle down the road. And then government and doing this, and government and doing that, and sometimes it's personal responsibility. If a lady decides she does not want to be part of a relationship where she has to struggle, why is that a bad thing? She didn't ask him for help. She didn't say she needed somebody to take care of her. But it's just a preference. Because based on what he's saying, at no point in time she said, well, she's not in a position to help herself either. Because if you know that as a woman, you're doing good on your own, right? You're taking care of all your bills. You're able to meet your month-end commitments or whatever. You have your own car, place, whatever. And there's a man who's not doing too well. And you decide, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to. That is your choice. A man could do the same thing too. Be doing well, has his own place, own right, and decide, you know what? That's not who I want. I want somebody who at least could meet me halfway. It doesn't only apply to women. It applies to men as well. Because men also end up in struggle situations with women who they thought were this, that, or the other, and realize they lack ambition or they're not contributing in any way, shape, or form. And then we just mad at each other. Pauline, you just nailed it right there. She says, I think too many times that women have been taught to put up and deal with men and all of their circumstances, including finances. But how many men are ready to do the same for women, to go through everything society expects women to do? I applaud her for being honest and transparent, because if she took him along for a ride, it would be a different story. Everyone can have their standards. If you're broke, you're broke. You cannot handle it right. Finances, Shirley says that's a really important conversation to have going into a relationship. Finances could make or break a relationship. Molly, I ain't throwing no ponytail talk for nobody. I'm just saying, I've seen a lot of forced ponytails with gel and water in school days. Brenda says we have to be practical. There is more than love. Support is part of love. Finance and sustainability are part of that support of each other. When committing on that level, we need to ascertain that should something happen in a relationship, then one person needs to carry the union. Her consideration is both practical, realistic, and healthy. And according to my friend Jason Skeet, Brenda, you just earned yourself the Nutmeg Award for that. So that is the point I've been trying to make all along. We can't just paint it with a love brush, just paint the whole boat with a love brush and think, okay, you know what? We love each other, so that's going to take care of everything. We have to be realistic, because then we end up in these situations and then y'all come back in the same room and complain, oh, you pick up this man 5 years ago, you're working for $200. 5 years later, he's still working for $200, and y'all can't even go on a little vacation. You're watching pictures of your friends all over the place, on cruise, and you can't even go in the river. You can't even afford to put gas in the vehicle to take you to the river. You still complain later on down the road. Now somebody's being realistic and they're saying, you know what, this is what I want. We're condemning the person. Not everybody wants a struggle life, especially if you came from it. Maybe she's doing good on her own, so she can afford to pick and choose and say, hey, I don't need that. I don't need no struggle love in this stage of my life. And a man could say the same thing. Hey, Chevelle, good morning. He says, Aruna, the issue we have today is we judge before listening and understanding. A man and woman have a right to select who they want to date or be with. She stated a preference, so respect to that. There is too much small-minded opinion in this chat. Stand up for what you want and don't settle for below your standards. The negative comments are the small-minded thinking. My sentiments. Standards should be across the board. Men have right to have standards as well as to what they would like in a woman and what they won't accept, or what they and women should be able to do the same thing. Someone says it's an important conversation to be had. Sometimes people do not like addressing these awkward topics. I prefer to know from the get-go what is what. Exactly. A lot of us, at time we set ourselves up thinking something is what it. And then when we get into it and we're too deep, after we're so deep into it, realize, wow, This isn't exactly what I thought it is. Brendan says men more often than not choose partners based on security. We need to take a page from their book. Exactly. So I don't think they're not paying attention and just picking up somebody Vike, as my mother would say, for just picking up for picking up sake. Someone says, Aruna, why we always look down on women when it comes to these conversations? Men have a lot more fault. Someone says his feelings got hurt, but at the end of the day, she didn't send and call him. He outside his weight classes. So this is why these modern women are doing well by themselves, very independent. Exactly, because, and I said, like I said, especially if you grew up a particular way and you want a family for yourself at some point, you don't want to have to put your children through the whole struggle situation again. So at some point, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna get my degrees. I'm gonna do that and that or the other. Start my family with somebody who can, at least support me and support us and what have you. Not like you're dependent on them, but the support is there if you need it. So encouraging women to go into these struggle situations or encouraging men just to go into it because of love. What a good idea. Hold on.
So when I dating a woman, I have to come in my lamp paper and my bank account number, everything one time.
Well, maybe she asked, I don't know, but hey, different rules apply. Hold on. It's Program Monday. Hold on. Says if you look at things now, everyone look out for themselves. If you have a financial problem or she has a financial problem, they could talk about ways and means of improving themselves. As humans, we need to look out for each other. We need to, like I said, a lot of things sounds good on paper, but we don't. Both need to sit down and think about how to make it better, because if they continue down that line being selfish, you would waste your life away further than think about it and get up and fix the problem. We both struggle. We both need to sit down and put things in place, because it's not about one partner. It's about both of them. Right. So the lady decided that she was not going to even start a struggle situation. She's not going to even start a struggle situation. So she could have nip it in the bud before it gets there. So I'm not sure why we... Someone says, what you mean? What money have to do with it? My brother, can you withdraw love to pay mortgages? So you mean to tell me I would never know what love feels like while we're in Dubai? You'll have to look at pictures and videos. Someone said this woman sounds like she doesn't go fat when she pause. Nope. Yes, she does. Someone says, yes, you have to be able to afford a woman. Next question. And that's coming from a man. Maggie says some would criticize your income and they have none or barely. Every bread have its G's. She wasn't the right one for you. She wasn't the right one for you. Some that speak because of financial security. There's a saying, the more money a woman has, she feels less inclined to be with a man, and the more money a man have, the more woman a man wants. I don't know. Someone says, partner, find someone who will appreciate your earnings. Easy and simple. Your salary shouldn't determine your feelings for someone else. To your question, it minimizes your chance for those gold diggers, not a genuine person. I don't know what makes her a gold digger. She says, hey, I got my own, so you need to come up as well. She didn't ask homeboy to pay her rent or pay her bills or anything. Just saying that, hey, you have to be... this term does make me laugh, because when people talk about gold diggers, it's like you put in a gun in a man's head and say, you ought to help me. At the end of the day, a man money is his. If he chooses to help you, choose to. It's not your money. I don't know, you could force man to give if he ain't want to give. If even though you ask and he say he ain't giving, or even if you ask and he ain't offer, it's his money. So that term always makes me laugh, because it seems as though man just these days, especially in Grenada, how much money have in Grenada to be gold digger behind? Like, really? And then man others see calling woman gold digger. Listen, let me not go down that road. Let me not go down that road. It's amazing who you see calling women gold diggers when you even have gold to dig. They all get a word and just bandied all over the place willy-nilly. Who have money and even calling a woman gold diggers, but people who broke more than you want to call you gold digger. What you have to go? What gold you have to dig? What gold you really have to dig? But always want to call people gold diggers. The people you know have a $2 in Grenada, they ain't even calling people so. But it's always as the broke people want to call you gold digger, and you ain't have nothing to dig from them. Like, make it make sense. Oh, you're gold digger, you don't have no gold. What you calling people names and you don't even have no gold to dig? Like, oh, make it make sense. A lot of men here, I swear, barely getting by, but calling woman gold digger. Bro, you ain't got nothing to dig. Like, what you got to dig? Something you're still living with your mother and you have to tell your brother go up more in the night. Imagine that. A man not telling his brother go up more in the night so you can get a little space on the bed calling you gold digger. The nerve, the audacity, the effrontery. Imagine that. And you have your whole king size bed living by yourself. Go up more in the night. You and your brother sleep when you sleep in head, he sleep in tail. Foot in your face in the night, but calling people gold digger. The nerve of okay. Tell your brother go up more in the night time and calling me gold digger. Well, you learn this gold digger one that everybody's just using ad hocly these days. All about the place gold digger, gold digger. Telling your brother go up more. Taking up all this space, one little sheet between the two of all, you pulling it, not even big enough to cover the two of all in the night, but calling people gold digger. I didn't realize that time, yes. Anywho's. Where are we? Yeah, this person says I'm not faulting her for her response. One bit. She wants a relationship that will make her comfortable financially, then it is what she wants. Yes, you can love her without providing the fine things in life, which may work for some but not work for others. Everyone's priorities are different. She wants someone she can depend on, someone to support her. She needs more than just the love. What you can't provide, someone else may provide it in the future. With her laying this out front should be a lesson for you on how you want to proceed. The end. So a man is the head of the home, so he's supposed to be a provider, and a woman is the helpmate. Although women should assist, it's not mandatory. Emotional and financial security and requirements. Someone says, sorry, I don't want a low-income paying job, and I certainly won't settle for it from a potential partner. She has her preferences, as she knows the life she intends to have and live, so at least she told you up front. Sorry that you feel offended, but it's a choice to make it as it's her life. Yeah, this one said, but I could understand that that if the brother unemployed, you're getting a man earning an honest dollar and she put in stupid levels to it. So much women out here for genuine life, bro. Go look for that. Leave that woman alone. Forget about her. And I said earlier on, yes, you could be employed, but that doesn't mean that you're able to even pay your own bills. A lot of people work paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth situation. Having a job alone isn't like a requirement. So just say, okay, well, you have a job, that's it. You're inside one time just based on the job. To me, you have a job and you could barely buy a bread. You're buying one bread and you're cutting it with a razor blade, tin to last you the week. Sometimes you can't even make the bread stretch. One little ounce of salami, you're cutting the salami, tin to put in it. Does that mean because you have a job, you're able to take care of yourself? A lot of us know that. Because not for a lot of people have jobs that they just go through and it help in something, but it's not like, you're making $10,000 and $20,000 and $30,000 a month. So having a job alone should not be a requirement for me to be with you. I should be thankful you have a job. Are you all right? Yes. Are you good until the doctor see all you? Are you good until the doctor see all you with that? But you should be grateful you have a job. So just because you have a job, maybe you every fortnight you're waiting for what do you call the thing? What's it? Travel, whatever. So just be grateful you're getting $500 a month. I should be grateful you have a job. All you good until the doctor see all you.
No, you know me, I got involved in this one, Mama. Blessed afternoon, I jam down. It's 50-50, If you pay the light, I pay the water.
Exactly.
You understand the cable have to pay. So if you do the cable, I do the groceries.
Yes, I.
Come on, man.
Yes.
50-50. I think it's time for that now.
Yeah, we could do that. I have no problem with that. And I always encourage that. At least you pull your hand. If there are men who would say, you know what, you don't need to do anything, that's okay. But I think we should be able to do the 50-50. I love the 50-50. You do the electricity, I do the water, you do the internet, I do whatever. There are men who would say, you know what, I've got it. I'm making enough to take care of, cover all the bills. But these days, partnership, a combination of resources that makes you live comfortably. So Stay there with that. You're well good.
So if your job is not paying well, I mean, you want to go in the restaurant and go and wash the wares when they don't eat after?
What time now? Listen, what's your time? Let me go over business here, yeah? Let me go in the stadium and watch what is the man name? The nice tall Englishman. Tamasha says I'm a gold digger the day I married a Caucasian man, and what's the name I get called? Listen. Someone says not always the case. My daughter very independent, travel all over and making good money, cannot find someone serious to date. Everyone out to play games. I tell you. No, they want you to, all of us are very hungry. That we sit down and eat one bread for the week and callaloo soup with no meat and grung provision and not can't even afford to buy a little piece of saltfish. That's what we want for the rest of our life. Struggle love. Yeah? Go into a relationship knowing you'll be hungry some days. But we love, so we jam in still. And then when you're making love, your belly making noise. I'll go right there with that. Anyways, that's all the time we have for this morning and this week. Thanks so much to our friends at Beacon Insurance and Western Union for accommodating us again. And thank you so much, everyone on the live. Yeah, y'all have been very entertaining this week. This week I was hilarious. I've never laughed so much in my life. Anyway, yeah, we adding up all the bills and divided by 2. Fairness across the board, 50-50. You're telling people go and get man because he have a job and 2 of us hungry. Well, that making sense? I watching you watching me. Yamming with eyes, you can get up and say, okay, well, we go eat a piece of steak today. We eat a lobster today. Every day is chicken wings and flap. Nah, man. No. We had to do better than that. We continue to set ourselves up in this struggle love and this struggle relationship, and then we complain and moan and groan after the fact. Like I said, at the end of the day, women have standards, men ought to have standards. They don't want that, you don't want that in this person, and the same way women should man have the right, woman should have the right. So if you all want to sit down and eat yam with oil, coconut oil, throw on it with some butter, that's all your business. Grandma and them back in the day, they figured they didn't have no choice. Everybody was struggling together. Now we big and we have sense. And not eating yam, and another thing I'm not eating is no callaloo soup. I eat enough callaloo soup in my life without meat, and nobody can give me callaloo soup to eat. I don't care who it is. So if you only want to go back to all this struggle life, that's all your business. I gone. Goodbye.